Welcome to the Steelers Realm Podcast. And now, here are the boys of Steelers Realm.
What is up, Steelers Nation? It's your boy Freight Train coming at you again for another live post-game reaction to another gut-wrenching loss of the Eagles. And I'm getting sick and tired of this, and I know my comrades are feeling the same way, so I'm bringing them in one at a time, starting with my man, JT.
Hey, what's up, Steeler Nation? What a... I don't have a word for it. Just a debacle. Now, were we expecting that? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was pretty close on my score. Some things never change. This season especially. So, what fun. Hey, who else is joining us? I think anybody on the road out there?
Yeah. Hey, Steelers Nation, I promised you a famous person, and here he is, the famous TA. How you feeling, buddy?
I got the word for you, JT. Shit show.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll check that one off. Certainly. Yeah. I'll put a check mark beside that one. Debacle.
Yeah. Guys, I mean, what went right today? Did anything go right at all in this game whatsoever? No, I mean, can we pinpoint one thing that we did?
Actually, I tell you what, Freight Train, yes. We converted 3 fourth downs.
True, we did.
There you go.
Oh, in 20 attempts. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's positive. I mean, even on the defensive side, this has to be the worst I've ever seen Minka play in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform.
Yeah, he was rough today. He was struggling today.
And again, back to no adjustments whatsoever. He's sitting back there in center field, not playing anywhere near the line of scrimmage. Now you got Akila Witherspoon, who just didn't even show up again today. I mean, is he seriously, is his starting gig in jeopardy at this point?
How can it be when Levi Wallace isn't healthy?
Yeah.
But we have backups that showed up in the last game we won. The backups essentially played better than what our starters have shown the past two.
Do you mean Levi? Do you mean James Pierre, who limped off the field at the end of the game?
Well, that's one dude that had a bad game too. Yeah. He didn't have exactly, and it just seems like they just kept picking on him and picking on him and picking on him.
Right. Yeah.
They didn't bring him in until the end, and he was the only one who stopped A.J. Brown. Well, I'm not sure what game you guys watched, but he was the only one that came in at the end in place of Witherspoon and stopped A.J. Brown on the only long pass to him that he didn't complete.
Well. And
no, they went play after play after play to him.
Not on 42, not on Perrier.
Yeah, he had a series there. He had several mishaps.
On which ones? Name them. Come on, because I'm gonna have to disagree with you here.
All right, I'll
Pierre
look it up.
Didn't see the.
We'll discuss this Monday night.
Yeah,
we'll discuss
he didn't
it Monday
see the field
night.
to the end. All right, you show
get the replay.
Because I want to know.
Either way, they all get their butts beat. They all got picked on. And they all got abused.
I will say the one positive I saw in this game and the whole grand scheme of things was we had 3 sacks. We actually had somewhat of a pass rush today. That was encouraging to see. But again, it didn't amount to anything. You'd sack them, give up 12, 13 yards on the next play.
Matter.
It just didn't seem they couldn't stack it all together.
The secondary
communicating. The linebackers didn't even show up.
Couldn't stack
that was
plays.
The biggest game at all.
Wait a second, what are you talking about? Reed had his best game since becoming a Steeler. He had
let me rephrase that. The middle linebackers. Spillane, Devin Bush, back to being what he was at the beginning. Miles Jack had to clean up some plays. That's about all. That's the only time we saw Miles Jack's name called was when he cleaned up a play.
I saw Miles Jack just totally run past the entire run. Ran right past one.
And then we go into the debacle of the offense.
Well, I didn't think I put enough emphasis on somebody else who was going to disrupt the team, and that was Javon Hargrave. And his presence was felt all game long.
Yeah. Jay, how do you think Kenny played?
Look, he shouldn't even be in there.
He's in. He's in.
But you asked me, what about his play? And I just told you, he shouldn't even be in there.
Meaning what? What do you mean he shouldn't be in there? Because he's not ready yet?
Look, the way this team is playing right now, the only thing that I'll give this team right now is you can tell at least they are still a prideful group. Tomlin has not lost his team. But if Tomlin does not make an offensive coordinator change, and I could question the defense coordinator at this present time and moment, but at least the offensive coordinator, if he does not make a change, I'm going to start a calendar to count down the days on when he loses this team.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now you can tell this team is still prideful. They're still out there trying. They're trying to do whatever it is they want them to do. They're not succeeding in whatever it is that they're being asked to do.
No.
I mean, that much is obvious on the fade routes. There was 3 fade routes that Kenny Pickett threw that he threw a fade and the receiver stopped short because he knew the fade wasn't there. Now, if that's an intentional play call saying, hey, if the wide receiver sees this, you stop and come back, or if you get this, you continue to go. Somewhere that communication's not there.
Yeah, that was evident. And actually, that was a good play on the defender to seal him to the outside there on that double move. That was Deontay. I think you were talking about that one. And
that was one of the 3. But he threw 3 fades that all failed.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then it seems like after that first drive, he hurries up and plays his best play calls on that initial drive to get us in the end zone, and it all goes to crap. There is nothing that is somewhat anything similar to that first drive. He doesn't get creative. He goes back to the coloring book.
First drive went 3 and out. You're talking to third.
Okay, I'm talking about the play where we finally saw Derek Watt involved in the offense and scored a touchdown.
The first actual drive. Drive.
Yes. Okay. Sorry.
Produced yardage.
But then the rest of the game, it's all everything we've already seen. Run on first down. We have 3rd and long, 2nd and longs, putting Kenny in bad situations. Every single drive. It's getting to the point where they are maxing out at 13 points a game. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. They cannot score more than 13 points a game.
That's all
they can't do it. They will never get more than that. Only time we'll score more than that is if the defense gets turnovers. And even now, that seems like a bygone.
Unlikely.
We can't get turnovers anymore.
2.
We can't do it.
2. You know what that represents? There was at least 2 opportunities for interceptions today. Both of them.
And they're 0 for 2.
And they're 0 for 2. Big 0 for. So we found a video highlight of one of Najee's highlights.
Yes.
Do you want to run it? Should we run it?
I think we should.
Oh.
And there it was.
Boom. There it was. What was this? Should have had a screen on 3rd down, and he had like 3 to go. He catches it. There's no defenders, and then he wants to juke. He's got 2 guys. If he catches it, turns and runs, he's got the first down easy.
Yeah, put your foot down on the ground and run forward.
What are we doing?
Mm-hmm. Dancing with the Stars, JT.
Jeez,
Dancing with the Stars.
It has to stop.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, we got some
sophomore slump or what? What's going on, man?
If you figure it out, let me know. I mean, we saw explosive runs from Jaylen Warren. You know.
What, in garbage time?
Yeah.
No, he had some in the first half as well.
He had some quality runs. He hit that one run. It wasn't too long after that play. He hit that one run. He hit that hole off left tackle, I think it was, and it just shot straight out and gained like 12 or 13 on a 2nd and 5 or something like that. He just blew it up. But running forward, moving the pile, falling forward is what you're seeing out of him, but you're not seeing that out of Najee. So, a little bit of second effort once he got into the second level, which was rare, but man, not much. I mean, he's getting hit in the backfield, trying to juke around them, trying to run around them, and he's just not going anywhere. And, I don't know. We see that. They have to see it. Why isn't this getting fixed?
So
I don't understand.
Are we all in favor and say aye that this has to be it for Canada? You had to fire him at the bye at this point.
Aye.
I can say aye all I want, but I'm not the guy who's going to end up firing him, nor do I see him getting fired. Because, hey, according to Canada, this is going to be a marvelous offense. It's going to take time. We got to stay the course.
At some point.
Got to stay the course.
Yeah.
Well, you tell me when that course ends, and then I'll tell you when we can say aye.
Well, hopefully it's at the bye. And it's just, you can see it. I mean, they brought up the statistic. Kenny has 6 interceptions and no touchdowns in the fourth quarters this year.
Oh,
since
boy.
He's been playing.
Oh, boy.
0-6. And he seems to be turning the ball over on crucial sets of downs. Crucial drives. It's a turnover.
Tomlin's post-game conference is on now. Tune into that and see what kind of what do you say?
He said it didn't play well in all 3 phases of the game is what he's going to say.
So let me ask you guys, are we like the official point in that there's no way he can have a losing season or a winning season at this point? He's destined he's guaranteed a losing season at this point.
Certainly.
Well, the way they're playing right now, absolutely. But
I mean, Matt,
let's face it. Miami turned it around last year at 1-7. There's still hope for this team to at least finish 500. But if Canada is going to continue to control the ship, there's no turning this around.
No.
We get a little spark. We get somebody. I mean, somebody needs to call North Turner. Get him out of retirement. I don't give a shit who it is.
Somebody.
You can't bring in the quarterback backup coach. He's only got 2 years of NFL experience. In both years, it was a one and done. So that is not our answer. You need to get Omar on the phone, finding out who will come in and coach this offense for the last 9 games of the season, 8 games of the season. That's your only hope of making 800.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
No, it ain't happening.
It's going to have to be somebody interim because I think our next offensive coordinator is on a playoff caliber football team right now. So you're not going to get him right now. So
which is who?
I'm hoping for somebody off the McVay tree or the Shanahan tree, somebody along those lines. Somebody that's creative. I mean, that's what we have the players that you have to have some sort of creativity. But whatever.
You just draw it up, draw a line 10 yards down the field and in, and 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and that's where all the plays are. That's where all the plays are. The other ones just for show, I think. I don't know. Didn't seem like they're even on the same page when they go routes.
Well, no. Nobody knows nobody has a role within the offense. There just isn't. There's no roles. There's no specific spots that each guy is controlling of. It's just not there. It's really not. And then again, we went back to hardly throwing the ball in the middle of the field, especially in the red zone. Why are we not attacking the middle of the field in the red zone?
A couple of moves.
That's where Kenny threw his interception.
Well, at the end when it's already too late.
Well, you just said we don't throw to the middle field. I'm just telling you, we did, and we threw an interception.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to put facts
Muth
out there, put the facts out.
He hit Muth out there a couple times.
Yeah, but not in the red zone.
The bottom line is this offense, if this is an RPO, if this is a misdirection, whatever it is that it is trying to display, it is not working. Period. Either we don't have the personnel to run his offense, or his offense just sucks.
I'm going to go with the latter of that statement.
Yeah, I think you have to agree. I think enough comments have been made by announcers, pro football announcers that have been former players, that the concept has been floated out there quite a bit about the vanilla nothing offense that he's putting on the field. That's a terrible product.
Well, and the worst part about it is, in this game, there was spacing to be had. The Eagles weren't stacking the box like we've seen all year long. There was spacing to be had. They just couldn't find it. They couldn't get there. There was no play designed to attack.
Our receivers were not getting open. They were covered well. They were covered well.
Hey, their receivers were covered well, but they were making plays.
Yep.
There was 3 touchdowns thrown today in double coverage.
Yep. So what's that tell you? What's that tell you, TA?
What that tells me is that either A, we've got a quarterback that can't put it in the position where it needs to be, or B, we are not running an offense that's being creative enough to create the opportunities for us to continue to move the ball downfield, because it is not vanilla. It is very, very, how do I want to say this? Identical from game to game to game. And you know exactly what we're doing when we're doing it. It's no different from when we threw the wide receiver screen. I thought, man, all right, we pulled a little Todd Haley out of the playbook.
Yeah.
All right. And then what do? 3 plays later, we throw the exact same play to the opposite side of the field. Only thing was, it wasn't Deontay, it was Sims. Really? Yeah. That was what you call changing things up? No. It's just not cutting it. The whole thing is just not cutting it.
That's what I'm saying. This offense will have no shot to succeed with Canada behind the run. That's just plain and simple. That's how it is.
It's predictable.
Yep, predictable.
And quite honestly, and even when we run a three wide receiver bunch, this has got to be the worst 3 wide receiver bunch I've ever seen in my entire life. It's not even it's not even a wide receiver bunch. I don't even know why they line them up in a bunch. There's nothing coming out of it to open up the wide receiver.
No, and it's not like they're throwing a little screen and having the 2 blockers ahead of them to get a little bit of steam and some play. That's not even happening either.
Correct.
They're just, all 3 of them are running different routes, and they don't coincide with each other.
Well, and the thing is it's not even designed to open one of them up.
Well, no. But usually in those types of situations, it can be some sort of like a pick play almost. We haven't even seen that.
Again, isn't that opening somebody up?
Well, I know. That's what I'm agreeing with your statement.
So if you're not opening somebody up, you can't even call a 3 wide receiver bunch set correctly.
No.
No. We got some work on it.
You don't even understand the concept of an RPO. Yeah. I mean, watching Jalen Hurts, I got to hand it to the Eagles, man. They definitely have perfected it. Compared to what we seen last week against Miami to this week against Philly, by God, Philly makes Miami look like they're still in kindergarten or grade school. Pittsburgh, we're not even in preschool yet. We're still learning our ABCs.
Yeah.
Let alone what colors we're using for finger painting.
I think it's more along the lines of our offense is in the nursing home, getting ready to head to hospice is more along the lines of it, TA.
Shout out
again,
to
the
Inkwell
Eagles
Studios. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Y'all
The Eagles
gonna be
have
all right.
that
Eagles
have
though,
that
baby.
young guy. They have a young and up and coming coach who's creative with his offense, and each play he calls coincides with the players he has out there. We don't have that. So,
you know, when Kenny started out throwing 6 passes to 6 different wide receivers, I thought maybe we're on to something finally. And then you're right, Freight Train. You said it at the beginning. After that drive, it was nothing. There was no game plan whatsoever.
nope.
So all I can say is tune in tomorrow, because right now I'm too fired up and you're going to get my mouth running the way I shouldn't have it running.
No
That's why we're
kidding.
called off the rails, TA.
We see you in such a good mood tonight, TA.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's take a deeper look into it. And I've got some statistics about James Pierre to look into too to prove a point. But
Okay.
we'll discuss that then, and hopefully I'm wrong, but he seemed abused
All
today.
right. Well,
so anyhow,
I gotta play this for the listeners. This is what we think of today's game.
Yeah, totally off the rails. Off the rails. Good to see you guys. Have a good evening.
All right.
Good, gentlemen.
Peace.
All right. Steelers Nation, love you. Peace out. Life's a garden. Dig it.